people who don't like Meghan Markle because she made the rest of the royal family treated Meghan and said to Meghan as they drove in the limousine.
Tom Bauer has spent years digging through archives, interviews, and forgotten records. And what he's found about Meghan Markle's age has stunned even seasoned royal watchers. Old magazines list numbers that make no sense. Family timelines collide, and official documents refuse to match the public story. Every new detail widens the gap, turning a simple birthday into a mystery with global consequences. And once you see the dates for yourself, the entire narrative around Meghan's past, her career, even her royal chapter, begins to unravel. So let's break down the shocking secrets, the magazine page that changes Meghan Markle's entire story. March 1997. Most teenagers are worrying about prom dresses, SAT scores, and which movie star will decorate the next cover of 17 magazine. Back then, the magazine wasn't just a glossy stack of teen gossip. It was a cultural landmark, something you tore pages from, folded into lockers, passed around cafeterias, and circled with pink gel pens while dreaming about the future. And deep inside that March issue, almost hidden, was a tiny page of young faces trying to become somebody. Aspiring models, singers, dancers, and actresses. On page 90, one name sat quietly among them, Meghan Markle, age 21. At first glance, it means nothing. Just another hopeful name printed in a long list of dreamers. But here's where it gets strange. If Meghan was born on August 4th, 1981, like her biography, her Wikipedia page, and every official royal record says, then in March of 1997, she would have been just 15, not 16, not almost 17, 15. So why did a nationally distributed magazine, all ink, no internet, no digital edits, publish her as 21? This wasn't a rumor posted on a fan blog. It wasn't a photoshopped tweet or a fake screenshot. This was a physical magazine printed, shipped, sold, and stored decades before Meghan married Prince Harry.
The nation delighted in the marriage of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
Decades before her name appeared in royal headlines. And that single number, 21, still sits right there in dusty archives to this day. If that age listing is accurate, the timeline of Meghan Markle's entire life shifts forward by 6 years. Her school years, her first auditions, her early Hollywood grind. Suddenly, she wouldn't have been a wide-eyed newcomer in her early 20s, breaking into acting. She would have been closer to 30, competing in an industry obsessed with youth, where every year of age can change who gets the role and who gets passed over. And as strange as it sounds, 6 years is not a small slip. 6 years is graduating later, moving to Hollywood later, making it onto Suits later, and most of all, meeting Prince Harry at a different stage of life. Now, two versions of Meghan's age sit side by side like parallel universes. Version 1, Meghan Markle, born August 4th, 1981, age 44 in 2025. This is the ink version, official, permanent, repeated on every platform from Palace Archives to IMDb. Version 2, Meghan Markle, listed as 21 in March 1997. If true, that pushes her birth year back to 1975 or 1976, making her closer to 50 today. Not mid-40s, not around 44, almost 50. And here's the strangest part. No one ever corrected it. No editor's note, no clarification, no tiny printed apology the next month saying, oops, wrong age. Nothing, just silence. Two different timelines, both printed, both public, both real. It stretches beyond just age on a page. It raises questions about everything that came after. College graduation, early roles, her rise in Hollywood, the moment she walked into the royal family as a supposedly fresh-faced American actress in her mid-30s. Because image matters in Hollywood, age matters in casting, and age matters in a royal fairy tale sold to the world as a modern love story. And once people noticed that 6-year gap, they started looking closer, not angrily, just curiously, because numbers aren't emotional. They don't gossip, they don't lie, they either add up or they don't. And this time, they don't. So here we are, 2 birthdays, 2 timelines, 1 woman, and a mystery that's been sleeping quietly inside a magazine for almost 3 decades. If that page is right, Meghan wasn't 36 when she married Prince Harry. She was in her early 40s, and while that's perfectly fine, it paints a very different picture than the one the world was given. And here's where it gets even stranger. Meghan's own father steps in with his version of her birth date. Could his words be the missing key to the truth? Keep watching to find out. The father who broke the timeline. When most fathers speak about their daughters, their words come with soft edges, pride, joy, and a hint of nostalgia. But when Thomas Markle speaks about Meghan, there is something different in his tone.
My congratulations to Meghan and to Harry.
Something heavier, something he seems desperate to put on record before time runs out. He remembers her childhood in vivid detail. The school plays, the ambition, the way she chased her dreams long before Hollywood knew her name. Meghan wasn't a child who waited for life to come to her. She pushed forward with determination that could be seen even in her earliest years. Every school report, every hobby, every audition was a step in a plan she never hid. So when she became famous, giving speeches, appearing on magazine covers, and building her public image, Thomas expected her story to match the girl he knew, but it didn't. The dates she mentioned about graduating high school, auditioning for roles, and landing her first major acting jobs, they were close, but not close enough. Something was off, and not by a small margin. These weren't the kind of memories a parent gets wrong. Parents remember the big things, graduation years, the day their child leaves home, the moment they finally get that role they've been fighting for. These are milestones burned into memory. And Thomas didn't shout about it. He didn't call tabloids or write a tell-all or chase headlines. He just spoke quietly, carefully, almost puzzled, like a man comparing two timelines that refused to match. And people listened because this wasn't gossip. This wasn't rumor. This came from a father who had lived every year of his daughter's life. He mentioned, almost gently, that Meghan might not be quite as young as the palace presented her to be. Not accusing, not angry, just observing, as if somewhere along the way, between California sunshine and royal palaces, the numbers didn't add up. That maybe the public version of her age and the private one he remembered weren't the same. And that changed everything. Because when a father notices something wrong with the timeline of his own child, people pay attention. These weren't online theories or strangers connecting dots. This was someone who had held her baby photos, who paid school fees, who knew exactly when she walked across the graduation stage. A man with no reason to invent memories. Around the same time, Meghan's highly hyped Netflix deal was falling apart. Shows canceled, projects stalled. What was supposed to be her Hollywood comeback faded into silence. And suddenly, people weren't just watching her career. They were examining her story, her past, her age. Then Tom Bower began digging into magazines, old interviews, and archived records. And what he found only made the questions louder. Dates clashed, numbers contradicted each other. A magazine printed one age, official records claimed another. And suddenly, strangers weren't the only ones confused. Because if a father's memories don't match the palace's version, then maybe the official story isn't the real one. Maybe somewhere, hidden in old files, forgotten articles, dusty archives, there is a truth waiting to be uncovered. So if the age issue already has you confused, just wait until you hear Archie's birth story, because that's when everything goes from odd to completely puzzling once you look at the numbers. The birth story that doesn't add up. March 1997. That's where the first cracks appeared. But it wasn't just old magazines and forgotten numbers causing raised eyebrows. Tom Bower, a royal biographer known for digging into the corners everyone else avoids, started noticing that another part of Meghan Markle's story didn't quite sit right. And this time, it wasn't about dates. It was about the birth of her first child. Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, described the day Archie was born like a soft focus movie scene.
Archie, come say hi to the team. Say hi, James.
Hi, James.
Candles, calm voices, relaxed pacing. According to Harry, Meghan had 2 epidurals. The delivery was smooth and gentle, and within just 2 hours, they were on their way back to Frogmore Cottage. Peaceful, perfect, almost cinematic. But then, a hospital insider from Portland Hospital spoke up. Someone who actually worked there. Someone who understood how real medical procedures happen when cameras aren't rolling and royal PR teams aren't shaping the narrative. Because Portland isn't a spa. It isn't a luxury retreat with massage tables and scented oils. It's one of the strictest medical facilities in the UK, especially when dealing with high-risk pregnancies. And Meghan's pregnancy was medically classified as high risk. Here's where the story starts bending in strange directions. Harry claimed Meghan received 2 epidurals. Medical professionals immediately raised their eyebrows because That's not how epidurals work. You don't get one, then another, like a refill on pain medication. An epidural is administered once through a catheter, which stays in your back and continues delivering pain relief. It's a continuous process. You don't double up. You don't stack them. That's not how it works in any hospital, anywhere. Then there's the timing. Harry said Meghan delivered the baby, recovered, was monitored, and left the hospital within 2 hours. Sounds smooth, sounds convenient, but not realistic. The drive from Portland Hospital to Frogmore Cottage alone takes around an hour, sometimes more with traffic, which means everything. Birth, epidural, recovery, exams, discharge had to happen in about 1 hour, maybe less. And that doesn't align with how childbirth works in a medical setting. Because after an epidural, your legs are numb. You can't just stand up and walk out. Your blood pressure has to be checked. Your vitals are being monitored. You have to wait for sensation to return. Most hospitals don't discharge you until you can walk on your own. That typically takes hours. Now add another layer. Meghan was over 35. In medical terms, that means a geriatric pregnancy. It's not an insult. It's the clinical classification for pregnancies over 35. But it also means tighter monitoring, more caution, more hospital observation. Not candles, not spa music, not wellness center vibes. Yet, Harry describes birthing balls, soft lighting, and what sounds like a home birth setup, something that would not typically happen for a first-time mother in a high-risk category. Then comes the biggest contradiction of all, preeclampsia. Preeclampsia is serious, dangerous even. It involves magnesium sulfate IVs, constant monitoring, strict medical supervision. Mothers usually stay for days, not hours. They don't go home right after birth. They are watched carefully because the risk doesn't vanish once the baby is born. And that brings us back to the hospital insider. According to them, the story Harry told does not match what Portland typically allows. Not for a high-risk mother, not for preeclampsia, not for someone who received an epidural. The setup Harry described sounds beautiful, peaceful even, but very different from how these situations are handled in real medical practice. So now we're looking at two different versions again. Version 1, a calm birth, spa-like environment, rapid recovery, home within hours. Version 2, a hospital that follows strict procedures, a high-risk pregnancy requiring monitoring, and a medical timeline that makes the quick exit nearly impossible. Just like the age question, this isn't about conspiracy. It's about contradictions. One, inconsistency you can shrug off. Two, maybe a coincidence. But now there's a pattern, a trail of things that don't line up when compared to real-world facts. Birth timeline, medical process, risk classification, hospital policy, piece after piece, none of it fits perfectly together. But silence from Meghan? That's not the Meghan the world knows. So why is she suddenly quiet while the story grows louder? Let's pull back the curtain on her silence, because some believe she's not just quiet, she's waiting. Waiting for what? Stay tuned. The questions nobody wants to answer. There is something strange about the silence. Normally, when a public story has gaps, when timelines don't match, ages don't add up, or birth stories sound medically impossible, someone steps in to clear the air. A spokesperson gives a statement, a publicist corrects a report, and a family member defends the truth. But in this case, nothing. No corrections, no explanations, not even the usual sources close to the family, stepping up to settle the confusion. And that silence makes everything louder. For most people, Meghan Markle's life reads like a fairy tale. Luxury homes, private jets, designer fashion, glamorous events, everything polished, glossy, and perfect. But beneath the shine, some details just do not line up. That 1997 teen magazine still lists an age that doesn't match the official records. Thomas Markle's timeline of his own daughter's life has never been addressed. Doctors and hospital insiders who questioned the birth story were met with total quiet. Not denial, just silence. And silence can be very powerful, because when no one answers questions, people start answering them for themselves. They wonder why everything else is managed so carefully, yet these particular details are ignored. Royal public image is usually controlled with military precision. Every statement is reviewed, every interview is rehearsed, every photograph approved. So why would something as basic as an age, a date, or a birth timeline be left messy? There seem to be two versions of Meghan's story. One is the official one, the fairy tale presented to the world. Perfect ages, perfect timelines, perfect medical stories. as if everything went through layers of editing before being shown to the public. Then there is the other version, the one you see in old magazines, medical procedure norms, and first-hand memories from people who were actually there. This version is less neat, more specific, and sometimes contradictory. Somewhere between those two versions is where the mystery sits. Why does a magazine say she was 21 when the math says she should have been 15? Why does a hospital timeline describe procedures that doctors say don't usually happen together? Why do a father's memories not match the cleaned-up public biography? These aren't tiny mistakes. They are major life details. Birth year and birth of a child. Those are not things people normally forget. And the strangest part is that all of this is documented. The magazine is real. Interviews with Thomas Markle are publicly available. Medical professionals have explained the normal process and pointed out where the story doesn't match. Yet nobody from the Sussex side has corrected any of it. No clarification, no press release, no, this was a misunderstanding, just silence. That leaves a puzzle with pieces that don't click together. When official records say one thing, old documents say another, and personal memories tell a third story, people naturally start asking questions. And once those questions form, they don't go away. They sit there waiting, uncomfortably obvious. Maybe it's all a misunderstanding. Maybe important details were changed for privacy. Maybe memories shifted, timelines blurred, or mistakes slipped into public stories. But if everything was innocent, if there was nothing strange behind the numbers, wouldn't someone have cleared it up by now? Because when the polished version of events doesn't match the paperwork, it leaves a very unsettling thought. Which version is the real one? And the silence from Meghan and Harry only makes the mystery grow. Are these just harmless mistakes or signs of a bigger secret? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.